Hey Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Air. And we're going to be exploring the what was it, the Divine Rooftop? What was it called? It had rooftop in the name. Let's see, Roof of the World. Really cool name, honestly. I dig the vibe. Feels like a Mount Olympus sort of type thing, although if I draw parallels to everything Olympian, it'll just be the same story over and over again. With all that said, we're just going to continue exploring this world, casually flying around, and I'm going to ramble about Avatar: The Last Airbender a little bit more. I guess, like, the entire gang, because that's what they call them. I don't know if that's the fandom thing or if that's just a term, pardon me, if that's just a term that the show gave the main cast, but the entire crew in this world are just so fun to watch bounce off of each other, interact with the surroundings around their surroundings, and root for them as they fight for their cause. I get the feeling that I do not know where I'm going, Kiwi. It feels like the final island, and it's definitely a temple, but I must have missed something that unlocks it, perhaps? Maybe I should have looked for where those guiding lights were, because maybe I am getting ahead of myself. That, or I'm just not very observant at finding things. Let's do a little scope around this island while I continue to ramble a Tidgemore. But I guess, where do I talk? Let's go in order of books, and I would say overall book 1 is Avatar's earliest and weakest chapter, and I think that's okay. It was still kind of getting its legs, figuring out what it wanted to do. And what it still did exceptionally well. I think the Kyoshi warriors are really cool, and they're introduced fairly early on. I think episode 4. Aang, of course, has that, like, kind of tropey interaction where he gets cocky because he's built up as this, like, big... the boy who lived by another name sort of experience, and regrettably, why did we zoom out like this? Am I just traveling extremely fast? I think it's because I'm traveling so fast. That's cool. Like, look at us zooming though. This is satisfying. Okay, I'm going through the wind tunnel. Here we go. Or I bonk. I didn't bonk. Kiwi, I didn't bonk. Awesome. Like, look how fast we are going. Yeah, it looks like I zoom out if I'm traveling super duper fast. Let's see what's over this way. Maybe there's something else. I'm very likely just missing things that I was supposed to go to first, but I don't mind it. We're just exploring a world. I feel like there's kind of an outer limit to where we're headed. We're definitely let's see what happens if we try to go off map. Oh, okay, we white out. Fair enough. Then we okay, so this is like a checkpoint. Okay. Interesting. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack to where we were previously, because clearly I am missing something, and I've likely gotten ahead of ourselves. There's no real combat in this game, so it's a rather just chill experience. This is a light. Did we find this earlier? No, we definitely did, but maybe I forgot to use my lantern at it, so let's see. What have you got here? There's a tent. I think these look rather torn up, so these are probably remnants of something. I'm just hearing the bells chime. Is there anything around this island? I get the sense that that is not the case, but I'll do another once around just to see if we're not missing anything. But yeah, so I think the most important thing about chapter 1, or the book 1 rather, the Book of Water, is really introducing the world to us, teaching the logic that the world follows, and how these characters that we're going to come to know and love exist within the rules that this world has established. And yeah, Sokka becomes the meat guy. One thing that I really appreciate about early Avatar, and honestly Avatar through as a whole, is that you actually get to kind of watch Sokka develop as a warrior. He is not very good at fighting, and it's made fairly clear that Sokka, despite being the kind of bullheaded meat boy that he is, he's not exactly the most adept warrior. He seems prone to failure, if nothing else. Oh, I'm not making that. Back up there. I think there's something on this island if we haven't already hit it, but no, we've definitely hit this island before, but we'll just confirm for completion's sake. I ran into you before, right? Yeah, this is the guy who's making a reasonable comment about not wanting to be decapitated at the cost of disobeying their, whatever this ruling body sort of character is. Maybe I'm supposed to go back to Medvin, so I'll head back towards where we started our journey and see if he has anything to say to us before we travel further. But where do I want to go with this? Basically, I I enjoy that, that throughout the entire journey, you witness Sokka being trained by various mentors. Suki, Suki's probably the first one to really recognize, but certainly he trains with the Water Tribe warriors in the Southern Pole, or the North Pole rather. He trains with the Sword Master in the Book of Fire. He's always looking for ways to improve himself, and I think that's something that kind of goes missed, and then it feels like Sokka has kind of become this great warrior out of nowhere, but it's not. Sokka actively trained to get where he was by the end of the series. Looks like an old campsite over there. Wonder if there's something interesting left behind. All right, well, since you're pointing me over that way, I'll go take a peek at it. Where is it? I don't really see what you're looking at, bro. Is it a Korok? Is there a Korok over here? I don't know, Kiwi, this is definitely going to be a series to fall asleep to. I'm not making much progress at all, although I don't really know what our metric for progress, strictly speaking, is. This is a pleasant looking little bridge. Oh, no, go down, go down. I don't see anything here. I thought I'd find something up here. Maybe there's something under the bridge? I can flip down in here. Nope, nothing. Kiwi, I'm going to be entirely honest. I might be a little lost and in need of a wayfinder. Let's here. Presuming that our starting place was this island, we don't have an indicator of which way we're facing, although I wanted to travel northwest, so we'll go this way. Suppose... Does the map give us any indication of where to go? It does not. Okay, that's fine, though. We can always ask for help, and it looks like there's a light over there, so why don't we go see what this is? Maybe this is... Oh, here's probably the campsite that they sell. Let's see if there's anything here first. I'm gonna ADHD my way around this world, and that's totally fine. Alright, what have you got? Got something here, let's see. I am Yohal of the Southern Isles. This is my third and final record of my travels in the land of gods. I happened upon the fox just as I was about to leave for home. He sat in the middle of the road and seemed to laugh silently as if to some hidden joke. I spoke in anger. My people are dying. Why is this happening? His smile seemed sad. The darkness within called to the darkness without. Heal your people to be healed. This is not your path, Yohal. I did not know what to say and stared at him after him as he left. Later I realized he was right. It was not my path, but one for my whole people. As I passed the Twilight Lake, I met with Kara for the first time. She showed me the Eventide sanctuary and asked me to gather everyone I knew. This is the refuge. This is the refuge that we had hoped for. I will journey home again, and I will guide my people here. I will see my only child, Rhea, again, and I will bring her hope. Okay. Yeah, it definitely seems like the people are struggling at the advent of some sort of catastrophe of some nature or another. We still don't really know what the darkness is, but it's certainly weighing heavy on the people who were here or were affected by it. Alright, oh, here's our key. So this must be the Eventide Sanctuary. So yeah, I just kind of wandered off into oblivion and didn't find anything of note. But you know what? We're here for vibes, Kiwi. We're here for vibes to fall asleep to. And if ever there were a series to fall asleep to, it's going to be this one, I get the sense. Just a chill, flying around the world, rambling about what we feel. Alright, you seem like some people who might have things to say. What have you got? Nope, nothing, nothing? Okay, maybe you guys over here? Thing to say? This definitely has a degree of Sky Island, Sky Temple sort of vibes from Legend of Zelda. There's definitely a degree of, you can see some inspiration. If nothing else, the rocks, the kind of like tooth-shaped rocks where, that let you zoom faster by traveling through. Let's see what's inside the sanctuary, I'm curious. And in the meantime, I guess more rambles about Book 1. I'm trying to think what else happens in Book 1. Secret tunnel happen in that that season? I forget. What a tragic episode. I was about to say Nintendo, Nickelodeon. Very much. Oh, this guy says we made it. All right, I guess we made it. Nickelodeon would only choose because most Nickelodeon shows were not like following a linear narrative. They were episodic in nature, and a lot of Avatar is episodic, at least in the earlier parts. But the reason why the Secret Tunnel episode played so much as reruns was exclusively the fact that, well, they wanted an episode that did not have um, that did not have any major continuity. Could be a standalone episode without, like, making people feel like they missed something fundamental to know what was going on in the series. And my goodness, being an Avatar fan when the show was actively airing was rough, because if you missed one episode, you didn't really have a good way of rewatching it. Nickelodeon's website was not terribly well optimized, and they didn't even have full episodes on it, or the episodes were broken up into like 10-minute segments back in the day. Does anyone else here remember the days of YouTube when they were like 10 episodes was the maximum upload time, and when they finally alleviated that, people started uploading like multiple hours, if not days long content, just out of principle of being able to do it? It's been interesting to watch the development of various social media sites over the course of time, because I'm old enough to be able to say that I did get to do that. Alright, what have you got here?
Man has paws that cannot run, but chases longingly the sun. Man has wings that cannot fly, but he will always seek the sky. Man has eyes that cannot see, but watch eternity. Man is lust unknowingly in danger, to his own mind always a stranger.
Okay, that is a riddle that I don't feel like I need to answer, because it wasn't a riddle so much as just a poem about mankind being something. Certainly something. It's like we found some more text.
I am Kara of the Thunder Islands. I had a strange dream that I will record here, so that others may perhaps understand its meaning as I did. I had come to study the holy carvings in the lighthouse in the land of gods, trying to understand our heritage. As I reached out to touch some of the runes, it suddenly felt as if a warm hand passed over my eyes, and I fell asleep on the sacred stone. In my dreams, it seemed to me that the stone beneath me glowed from within, forming a staircase up into the starry sky. Far away on these steps, a golden light grew and drew close. Stars flew from the sky and became someone who had the shape of music and was gentle and sad.
That's part one. Is there anything to read here? Like, there is text, but it doesn't look like it's readable. I assume this is supposed to be a statue that represents Kara. Looks like she fell apart, though. It has elf ears. Do we have elf ears? We have, like, weird, like, air horns.
The god spoke to me not in words, but in memories and feelings. He warned me of a terrible greed from beyond, a void in the hearts of men. As he showed it to me, I felt it stir and come between us, darkening the golden steps like a storm cloud, cold as eternity. Terrified, I cried out at the pull of this dark void and I awoke. I could not speak for 3 days, but I set out to the ancient temples immediately. If what I have seen is true, the gods are alive and they need our help, as we need theirs.
So we saw in some like commentary from one of the spirits that we interacted with earlier that it sounded like the gods were no more, that they were killed, but perhaps that's not the case based on what we're reading here. Like, this is our next destination. Let's see what's over here. This does kind of have a vibe of like the hidden water temple where the moon spirits from Avatar were. I'm going to draw some Avatar parallels. Might be a little ham-fisted, but it's fine. Alright, looks like we have to find some different keys within this room to activate the entrance to that room. So, seems like it's mostly just get to the place through platforming and then interact with the thing and then activate, and then you have the key activated. There's another one. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Find the thing, touch the thing, win the thing. Fair enough. But yeah, certainly I can see that, like I said before, there's definitely a vibe of Legend of Zelda here. We're exploring abandoned temples, finding the little keys to activate a gate to go to what presumably is not a boss fight, because I'm pretty sure this game genuinely has no combat. It's just exploration and story building and world building. You know what, for a change, that's fine. I don't need to think too hard. I can just be casual, and if the audio quality on this sucks because I'm at a hotel recording on the microphone that I usually use, but in suboptimal recording environment, I can still enjoy it for what it is, and I'm okay with that. We're here for a nice chill. Oh no, someone fell down here, didn't they? Oh, buddy, that doesn't look good. I am very sorry for both of you. That's unfortunate. These guys came here for refuge and one of them ends up falling to their death. Definitely heartbreaking. They finally found peace, only to have tragedy in their midst. Perhaps there was a circumstance that led them to fall other than their own foolishness, but it doesn't seem great. Could also just be someone, maybe it's not, maybe they're not dead, maybe they're just like laying and suntanning on that rock inside of a temple where no sun could possibly reach them, you know, as you do. I have laid on giant rocks like that, so I can't judge. So maybe they're just having a good time. Maybe they are just enjoying their space. Did I miss a key? Did I forget to activate that key that was up there? I clearly have missed one of them. Still stupid, but how stupid am I? This one looks like it's still glowing, perhaps, so that must be the one I missed. Nope. I swear, there were 4 keys and I activated 4 keys, didn't I, Kiwi? Did I see the key up here and then miss it? Hold on. Riveting, riveting, absolutely incomprehensible quality of content. Here's our last key. Maybe there were 5? No. I definitely saw this and then didn't interact with it, but how do I get there? Like, normally I would fly, but it turns out you can't fly. Looks like we can probably... Well, if I hadn't gotten caught on the little thing there, I probably would have been fine. Oh well, hopefully I can just platform around here without... I cannot. Unfortunate. Well, let's backtrack a little bit one more time. So what else can I talk about with book 1? I guess the moon spirits being fish was cool. I liked how they kind of represent, like, I mean, certainly things that are... The moon is heavily associated with the tide, right? So it makes sense that an aquatic creature would likely be the representation of that. The fact that they could effectively turn off the moon by killing the fish is a bit weird, and even weirder is the fact that, what is it, Princess Yuki ends up being a way to resurrect the fish by giving up her own life, or like giving up the life that was blessed onto her by the moon spirits. I feel like that needed a little bit more time to cook, but of course they had to, like, again, their romance in this series is probably the biggest attractor for my enjoyment, I'd say. And Sokka's ham-fisted, I mean, they had some chemistry for what it's worth. Just, if nothing else, it led to the wonderful interaction between Sokka and Zuko, where it's like, my girlfriend turned into the moon, and Zuko's only response is, "That's rough, buddy." Like, how could you possibly believe that is actually what happened? And yet, here's Zuko just being one chill, cool dude. So, have I found a way to, like, make a way over there? It doesn't look like it. I must be missing something. I found one thing. I must have to go over that way. So let's backtrack. Maybe there's an entrance to that other wing from over here. But I don't know. The humor in Avatar at times is very childish, and it's not necessarily my cup of tea, and other times it's so on point, and it's mostly just because it's just a very well-written show. The characters bounce off of each other so well, and again, like, we have compelling, interesting characters who we end up rooting for time and time again. And I love it when they make compelling villains. And my goodness, like, Ozai's kind of boring, let's be honest. Ozai is just a bad father who's a war-driven, power-mongering, and certainly an abusive father. And I've never read the comics, so I don't know what his relationship becomes, or what his relationship with Zuko and Azula and Iroh are like outside of the context of the show itself. I think this is where we entered from. Is it? No, maybe it's not. Let's explore around here a little bit. Maybe we'll find something cool. But I feel like Ozai felt a little bit more one-dimensional than I would hope for a main villain of a series like Avatar. But for what it provided, it was a... Okay, this is definitely the entrance, isn't it? This has got to be the entrance. All right, we're going back. So Ozai, yeah, I just... he's not that interesting. And some of the other villains are kind of like... They show up once and then they're kind of forgotten, or they're just like greedy, fear-mongering, or like... Their motivations are simple enough to understand, like the earthbending general who almost kills Aang in an attempt to try to get him to use the Avatar state as a weapon, then immediately gets punished for it and almost killed, frankly, by Aang, by forcing him to use a power that he does not want to use, because to use it he has to suffer great pain. I think that's a really cool episode. Granted, that's not book 1, but there are just some incredible antagonists. I mean, Zuko starts off as an antagonist, but obviously that is not where his character ends up, and it's so much for the better. Zuko is so... I love Zuko's journey Honestly, it's just as compelling as Aang's, if not more to me. I think Zuko's development as a character is one of the greatest strengths of Avatar's writing. I haven't been over here. I see giant green mushrooms. Hello. This is cool. Is there anything? It looks like we can go down here. Let's see what's in the mushroom chambers. Wonder if these mushrooms are edible. Okay. Hello. Hello, pillars that rise from the ground. You activated by my lantern. They seem contextual. They rise when I get near them, which works for me since they're going to lead me to the path I want to take. As long as I don't flub a jump, which we all know, having watched a number of platformers with Jeff, that he is very capable of doing. But anyway, I mean, so that's Zuko, but Azula, oh my goodness, Azula is so terrifyingly threatening, and I love it. Hands down, one of the best lines I've ever listened to and seen written. Just when she's talking to the Earth Kingdom espionage leader kind of character, just like he says to her, "You beat me at my own game," and she just says, "You were never even playing." And oh my goodness, she oozes charisma and threat, and I love it. I eat her up. And it's so funny when I play Diablo 3 and I just hear that the mage's voice or the sorcerer's voice is the same as Azula. I'm like, oh, I have to play this character immediately. And of course I didn't build her fire. I built her a mixture of ice and lightning, I think. And I'm okay with that. I had a great deal of fun with that character. And I don't know, Azula was so fun. Like, every moment she's just plotting in the background, and she was a bigger threat than Zuko ever was, and that makes sense. Zuko is a good boy. He shouldn't be a threat. He should be someone who's working for the benefit of his people, for his nation's better future. And I love that he actually, like, when he confronts his father, he says, in school we were taught that the Fire Nation is a great place, that everyone would want to be a part of our great nation. But no, they don't love us, they hate us, they fear us. And it's such an interesting, like, battle of morals and values when Zuko confronts his father, because you see that Zuko deeply cares about not just his people, but the interactions and the views of people towards his people, or like of other nations towards his people. Wait, this is part 2. Hold on. Skip this. We read part 1 first. 1 second. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of text there. Here we go. All right, read part 1.
When the world was still new and the Creator had drawn the lands, the spirit animals gathered to talk. A fox said, "There are new animals around. They walk on 2 feet." The crane said, "A new bird?" The fox shook its head and said, "They have no wings." A monkey said, "I have seen them too. They are without fur and they cannot climb well." An owl said, "They fear the night and drive it away with fire." An otter said, "They build nests on the land, but they are not one with it." A deer said, "They are loud and do not know how to walk the woods." A bear said, "They are like cubs who do not know the way home." The fox cocked its head and said, "Yes, that is why we have to help them."
So it kind of sounds like mankind found these lands, and the spirits or the animals that inhabited here were weirded out, and, well, to say the least, weirded out, and then took pity on the humans and tried to teach them the way of the land of gods. I wonder if the spirits themselves are the gods, in fact.
"Help them," the other animals looked stunned. "Yes," the fox said. "Their minds see eternity, and they are lost and afraid. They need something to hold on to, or they will harm themselves, the lands, and us." The fox said. "What do you propose?" asked the hare. "I propose a pact," said the fox. "If one of them can talk to us, we offer him the bond. We offer him the bond with the land." The fox continued. "If he accepts, we can take the shape of one of us. He can take the shape of one of us, one he made the pact with. And he will be one with the land and still see beyond the veil, and he can guide and guard his people, and so we will all be at peace," said the fox. The other animals saw the wisdom in this and agreed to it. So some humans can become one with the world, and the chosen were called whisperers.
Okay. So basically the spirits and the animals of this land saw humans as a confusing and potentially violent sort of creature, and proposed a solution to find a way to find peace between all members of this environment. The humans being the newcomers, but part of that environment now. And the way they did that was to create a whisperer, someone who can commune with the animals and gain an ability to transform into them to better, I guess, understand them, perhaps. Looks like we only... Seems like a binary set of positions, so perhaps we just go around and reposition this tower. All of these things. Let's see what happens if I do that. A different section, or... Okay, I see. We can turn... This is like a half turn versus a whole turn. Okay. So basically we have to, like, use these 4 different pedestals to turn this tower some portion so that it beams its light into where we need to go. At present, that kind of feels like perhaps I just activate all of them and we'll... Got sun and moon symbols here. Okay, I think with that, if I do a quarter turn to the right, it should get it. So let's see if... I'll figure this out real quick. I hopefully don't have to think too hard, because I'm bad at thinking too hard. Okay, I think I've got it. So this one should be good, and then I think it was the next one was a quarter turn one direction or the other. So it's either this one or the next one. But, oh, well, I didn't mean to jump there. I wanted to interact with that. How do I get back up? Well, this is very awkward. Oh, hey, a frog. Kiwi, did you know that frogs evert their stomachs when they're stressed? And so, when people don't know how to handle frogs and suddenly their stomach is on, their outsides are on, their insides are on their outsides, people tend to panic. It's actually, I'm like, I broke my frog, but no, actually, that's just what frogs do. Frogs be weird creatures after all. Anyway, oh, random frog fact thrown in for good measure. Why not? Guess we keep going down this path that we just opened. Anyway, so I don't know, like, there are so many opposing worldviews within the world of Avatar, but they all, like, you can kind of understand, certainly at least the main cast, why they view the world this way. Toph, I think, is a great example. She's grown up as this pampered, privileged child, and she wants none of it. She wants to walk the world with her own 2 feet. Her parents are coddling her and ignoring the fact that she is a strong, independent, talented young girl who has so much more to offer to the world than what her parents think she can because of her disability. Looks like these are new lore. Let's go.
When the world was created, when the world was still new and the Creator had drawn the lands, the spirit animals gathered to talk. A fox said, "There are new animals around. They walk on 2 feet." A crane said, "A new bird." The fox shook its head and said, "They have no wings." We did read this. No, hold on. We have read this, haven't we? Okay. We have read this. Okay, I see. So that cutscene was just showing that this light beam was activated, so we can go back the way we came now. I think. Might be a little bit lost. No, okay, I see. The light is coming through that door going to this, and now we can interact with this puzzle. Let's see what this does. Oh, is it another light connection puzzle? Okay, so the light lights up different sections of this. Okay, so we're just trying to get the whole symbol to glow. That makes sense. We do the same here, but with the moon symbol. So I guess this temple's whole idea is just kind of the story of the beginning and what led us to who we are as a people now. Let's see, can I get the right symbol? There we go. And that lets us get further in. All right, Kiwi. So I think we are coming up on half an hour again. If these episodes are a little bit short again, I don't really have a timer to watch easily because I don't have split screen with a dual screen monitor sort of set up anymore. So at least while I'm at the hotel, but I'll likely be recording this all of tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to exploring this world a little bit more and reminiscing about Avatar: The Last Airbender. So with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you. I'm looking forward to seeing you home soon, Kiwi, because I know you're not going to be out for too much longer, which means I get to cuddle with you again. That means a lot. I hope you're having fun, Kiwi, and I look forward to hearing about all the funny stories about the things you baked, and the things you watched, and the weird tea party gowns that you guys wore, just trying to recreate the Regency era. That's something to look forward to for another day, so I hope you're sleeping well, Kiwi. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.